Part 21. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Ching Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 201. Old man, I've been smelling it for 6 or 7 days. The smell is getting stronger day by day. This house is a rental house. The landlord has gone to live in other cities long ago and entrusted the house to an agency for rent. I did see it some time ago. A man left with his suitcase, and I asked him why his girlfriend was not with him. He said that his girlfriend ran away with another man. I saw that he was unhappy, so I didn't ask. Killing someone and still slandering them is a scumbag among scumbags. Yes, I hope the police uncle will catch the criminal as soon as possible. Don't worry, now that renting a house requires identity information, he won't be able to get away with it for many days. That girl is so pitiful. So be careful when making friends. The policeman said, I see, then do you know which agency it is? Old man, it seems to be the shop on the left when you go out at the entrance of the community. The policeman looked grateful and said, thank you, sir. After the basketball tree was confirmed, he returned downstairs and continued the live broadcast. You just saw and heard what the anchor said is true. Anchor, you are so powerful, why not help the policeman solve the case? Tell the policeman directly who the murderer is, so that the policeman will not have so much trouble. Don't you have anything to do as anchors? The policeman didn't know the anchor well, so if he said it rashly, he would definitely be considered a lunatic. That is, now you have to leave your identity information when renting a house. Strictly, you also need to keep a copy of your ID card. When the police go to the agency to check, you can find out the previous tenant. Yes, I think the basketball tree should pack up its things now and leave as soon as possible. Yes, if I were to stay here, I would definitely be frightened awake in the middle of the night. Even if I spend money to stay in a hotel, I would not stay here. Hoopstree asked, Anchor, if I don't live here tonight, can I really pass the exam tomorrow smoothly? Chiaoning Suan, okay, but you'd better go back to your parents' house tonight. With your parents emboldening you, you won't be so scared at night. Your parents live in a villa, so you can live on the top floor tonight. That way if there is no one above you, you won't have nightmares. Otherwise, if there is even the slightest sound above you, you won't be able to sleep well tonight. Hoopstree nodded, thank you, Anchor, for your guidance. After saying that, he gave some more gifts and quickly uploaded the broadcast. He needs to pack his things quickly and leave here. Chiaoning Suan, there is still one spot, so everyone should hurry up. White Balloon, fortune teller. Chiaoning Suan, water friends nicknamed White Balloon, please pay first. After completing the carnival with white balloons, apply for a connection. Chiaoning Suan accepted his connection. Soon, a man in his 20s appeared in the camera. White Balloon, hello, Anchor. Chiaoning Suan, hello, what do you want to ask? As the words came to White Balloon's lips, he hesitated a little. After thinking about it, he finally said it bravely, Anchor, can you help me find my dad? Looking for daddy? Parents are divorced? Or did dad run away alone? You really have come to the right place, the anchor can definitely help you. That's right, that's right. Chiaoning Suan, show me your father's photo. White Balloon took the photo on the photo wall behind him and placed it in front of the camera. Chiaoning Suan took a look and saw that he was a man who looked very rustic in his clothing now. White Balloon continued, my mother and my father are not divorced. It's just that when I was a child, my father said that he would go out to make a lot of money and come back to let our family live a good life, but he never came back. I also called the police, but there has been no news from the police station about my dad, and there is no record of him using his ID card. My mother has raised me and my brother up by herself over the years, and we have suffered a lot. My brother and I both see it. My brother hates my father very much and hates him for abandoning us. I hate him too, but I also thought about whether he might have some difficulties, such as losing his memory, unable to find his way home, and now wandering or something. Because he hasn't come home all these years, every time my grandparents see my mother, they say that my mother is very stubborn and has killed my father. In their view, if my father is still alive, there is no way he can ignore it. They are two old people. My mother is also honest and superstitious. She thinks that she really killed my father. She also feels guilty every time she is questioned and scolded by her grandparents. She silently endures it. It was fine before, but yesterday they came to ask my mother for money again. They felt that since my father married my mother and my mother killed my father, they should be filial to them on my father's behalf. They asked my mother for 100,000 yuan to buy a house for the uncle's child, their eldest grandson. Of course my mother can't afford it. Even if she could, there's no reason for her to be an aunt and pay for a house for her nephew. When they saw that my mother didn't give it to me, they beat my mother. If I hadn't come back early from get off work yesterday Friday and stopped them in time, my mother would have been beaten to death. Although I sent my mother to the hospital in time, the doctor said that she would have to stay in the hospital for half a month, and she would have to recuperate for a month at home before she could fully recover. Your mother is too honest, isn't she able to fight back? Even if she wanted to fight back, she probably wouldn't be able to win against anyone. There were quite a few people over there. If it were me, I would sue them to the point of ruining everything, and kneel by my bedside to beg me, but I wouldn't even forgive them. That's right, white balloons, sue them for intentionally injuring others and put them in jail. White balloon, I called 110 and 120 at that time, and the police also took them away. I have decided that if they don't pay for medical expenses, pay for my mother's mental damage, and don't apologize, I will never issue it. Letter of understanding, forgive them. That's it? Well done. Those people are too arrogant and don't take the law into consideration at all. Intis them a painful lesson. Chiao Ningxun had already figured out the whereabouts of the white balloon's father. Your father's name is Lu Taigi, right? Yes, Anchor, you are so awesome. Is he still alive? Chiao Ningxun continued, he is indeed still alive and living well. The reason why you can't find any record of him using his ID card is because he has been living using someone else's ID card. White Balloon said excitedly, then where is he now? Chiao Ningxun, you are in the village of Zikan now. In fact, he is in the town of Zikan. The distance between you and him is only 30 kilometers. White Balloon was no longer calm, he is actually so close to us. Zikan is not big, so why have I never met him before? My mother and my father's relatives have not met him either. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 202. Chiao Ningxun, he was injured once before and had plastic surgery on his face. Compared with the photo you gave me, it is only 3 points similar. And every time he goes out, he wears a mask and always pays attention to you. Of course you can't find him. White Balloon, then where is his specific location now? Chiao Ningxun sent him a private message, the specific location is here. His current name is Wan Qingfen. You can find out by asking around. Many people know that he is on their side. His reputation is not very good. White Balloon nodded, okay, thank you host, I'll go find him now. White Balloon, when you find it, can you broadcast it live? Yes, live broadcast. I also want to see what the person who caused your mother so much misery looks like, so that I can avoid lightning if I encounter him in the future. Yes, I want to watch it too. Start the live broadcast and I will reward you. Start live broadcast, start live broadcast. Start live broadcast, start live broadcast. Seeing that the words live broadcast were all over the screen in his live broadcast room, Baekhyun had no choice but to agree. Okay, I will prepare a meal for my mother and send it to her, and then I will go find him. I will start the live broadcast by then. Cheoning soon, if you have any questions later, just send me a private message and I will reply as soon as possible. White balloon, thank you, host. Cheoning soon cut off the connection and said seriously, everyone, it's almost time. I'm going to help my family prepare lunch. See you next time. When is the next broadcast? Tomorrow is Sunday, will it still be broadcast in the morning? Yes, please give the anchor a preview. Cheoning soon, the next live broadcast time is uncertain. It may be tomorrow morning, afternoon, or evening. As long as you follow the anchor, you can receive the anchor's broadcast notification at any time. Okay, bye. After finishing speaking, it will be broadcast in 1 second. He Yuen Yang and He Yuen Hui walked over quickly. He Yuen Hui asked curiously, cousin, how much was your income just now? Cheoning Sun opened it, took a look, and then calculated again, it should be more than 20,000. He Yuen Hui was immediately excited and said, cousin, you are really amazing. He Yuen Yan also said, cousin, this live broadcast is really very profitable. Cheoning Sun smiled and said, in the future, when you are admitted to college, you can also live broadcast. He Yuen Yang sighed and said, cousin, I am more introverted, not as outgoing as you. Live broadcasting is probably not suitable for me. He Yuen Hui nodded, I don't think it's suitable for me either. I'm not as good at speaking as you. Cheoning Sun, whether it's suitable or not depends on trying it. You can also make short videos, like funny videos. If you have more fans, you can make money. The two of them still hesitated. Cheoning Sun stood up and said, okay, don't think too much, I won't force you. I just want you to have more income. Of course, if you get into a good university, you can make a lot of money doing other jobs in the future. Money. The two of them thought about it for a while and felt that what she said was reasonable, so they stopped worrying about it. The three of them talked for a while and then went downstairs to help. After lunch, Cheoning Sun suggested that everyone go to Nanjing City for a walk. He Yuen Yang wanted to refuse. If he went to the city, he would definitely have to spend money. But He Yuen Hui happily agreed, so he had nothing to say. He is in his senior year of high school, and because it is only the first week of school, he can only come back on Saturday. Starting from next week, school will only be open on Sunday afternoons. When Cheoning Sun and others went to the city, the white balloon also went to the address given by Cheoning Sun and started the live broadcast at the same time. White balloon is finally on the air. Okay, I have some free time today, so I can go to the theater again. This community is my community, I can go see the scene, haha. Envy the one upstairs. At this time, the white balloon, that is, Lu Fuhao and his brother Lu Fuja walked towards a bun shop. There is generally no business at the bun shop at noon, and the boss is sitting and resting in the shop at this time. Lu Fuhao handed over a red ticket. The boss was stunned and said, brother, what does this mean? Lu Fuhao said, boss, let me ask you about a person named Wang Qingfen. The boss glanced at the two of them and asked, who are you two to him? Lu Fuhao truthfully told their identities. Hearing that it was Wang Qingfen's family, the boss immediately became interested. He collected the money neatly and asked them to sit down. If you want to ask anything, just ask. I will tell you everything I know. Half an hour later, the two brothers Lu Fuhao thanked the boss and walked angrily into the community. The owner of the bun shop also followed them, wanting to watch the fun. If anyone asked about the situation, he would tell the truth. For a time, the Lu Fuhao brothers were followed by many people. It's no wonder they wanted to watch the fun. But the reputation of Wang Qingfan's family is not very good in the community, and they have offended many people. Many people want to see their family's jokes. The residents of this community had just evicted the property, so there were no security guards at the door to ask them about their situation. They successfully arrived at Wang Qingfan's home on the first floor. Boom! 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 Lu Fuhao knocked on the door. The door was soon opened, and it was Wang Qingfan, the missing Lu Taigi, who opened the door. When Lu Taigi saw the person coming, his pupils shrank suddenly and he closed the door again. Although Lu Taigi's face had changed, Lu Fuhao still recognized him at a glance. Lu Fuhao said loudly, "Dad, I know it's you inside, please open the door." Lu Fujia also said, "Dad, you are going too far. You are still alive and you haven't been home for more than 10 years. Do you know how my mother has been living these years? My mother is taking care of my grandparents. I brother, he grew up with her alone. Grandma thought you died outside, and scolded my mother every day. My mother herself also thought that she had a hard life, and she would kill you. She would grant them whatever they asked for, and would try her best to satisfy them with whatever they asked for. Just yesterday, my grandma asked my mother for 100,000 yuan to buy a house for your brother's son. My mother refused, and they almost beat her to death. Fortunately, my brother went back early, otherwise I wouldn't be here now. Damn it! My mother is still lying in the hospital, but you have been here for more than 10 years. You are really wicked." Those who came to watch the excitement also roughly understood the identities of the two brothers. Those who only paid attention to Jiao Ningxun in the live broadcast room today were immediately shocked. Immortality and immortality are so accurate, it really allowed them to find their father. Yeah, this is so amazing, like a god. Pay attention to longevity, and you will not lose money by investing in it. Do you know that immortality and immortality are very accurate? She is very powerful and is a good fortune teller. Please pay attention to her quickly. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Chen. Chapter 203. That is, many people have changed their destiny because of her. At this time, Lu Taigi on the other side of the door was so nervous that he broke into a cold sweat. Lu Taigi's current wife Zhong Rumen also heard what was said outside, and her face was very ugly. "Are they really your sons?" "Yes," Lu Taigi said anxiously. "What do we do now?" Zhong Rumen frowned and said, "You are Wang Qingfan now, and you are Lu Taigi's business. We have kept it secret for more than 10 years, and even my children and relatives have not doubted your identity. How did they find you? They still know where do you live. Don't worry about this now. It was you who thought that your husband and I were very similar, and your house was collected based on population. One less person means less house and less money, so you asked me to replace your just dead man. Husband. Now that the incident has happened, you have to help me find a way to get rid of them quickly. Otherwise, the entire community will know my true identity soon. By then, if the country takes away your family's money and house, take it all back, are you willing to give it back?" Zhong Rumen nodded seriously, thinking about what to say later, and then she opened the door. Unexpectedly, as soon as she opened it a crack, Lu Fuhao and his brother opened the door and rushed in before she said a word. Lu Taigi was startled and instinctively hid in the house. Unexpectedly, as soon as he entered, before he could close the door, Lu Fuhao and Lu Fujia chased him in together. Those who were watching the excitement also walked in droves. Lu Fuhao looked at his father huddled in the corner and said with a sad look on his face, "Dad, no, you are not worthy of being my father. Lu Taigi, you still dare not see us until now. You are still not a man." Lufuja said with a fierce look on his face, Lu Taigi, you abandoned your wife and children. Today we found you and your good days are over. Zhong Rumen shouted loudly, you all get out, you are trespassing on people's houses, I can sue you for illegal intrusion. It's just that none of the people watching the excitement paid her any attention. They all felt that the law was not to blame. They came in just to watch the excitement, and they didn't steal or rob. Even if the police came, they couldn't do anything to them. Zhong Rumen was furious and wanted to squeeze in, but most of the people watching the excitement were men, and she couldn't push anyone in. In desperation, she could only call the police. Lu Taigi saw his two sons questioning him and other people at the door looking at him. Knowing that he couldn't hide, he simply sat cross-legged on the bed. How did you find me? Lu Fuhao said coldly, you don't need to know this. I want you to answer me, why haven't you gone home for so many years? Just because this family can make you rich and live a good life, you abandon your wife and children for 10 years, several years. Lu Taigi said, let the others go out first, and I will tell you the reason. Impossible, Lu Fuja said angrily, if you don't give me an explanation today, I will kill you. When Xiao Ningxun turned on the live broadcast, she happened to hear Lu Fuja say that he wanted to kill people. After reciting a mantra, she turned off the live broadcast. Lu Taigi looked at his youngest son's fierce eyes and was a little scared, but he still didn't intend to tell the truth. But when he was about to say something else, the words changed again when he reached his mouth, what do you want to explain? People go to higher places, water, I want to live a good life, what's wrong with it? Back then, after I left your mother, I planned to work hard to support you. But who gave me a good life? I met my current wife Zhong Rumen. She said that I looked like her husband. As long as I pretended to be her husband, she could share more of the house and money during the demolition. It also gave me pocket money every month, so I was tempted. I did live a good life in the days that followed. I could live in a high-rise building, eat what I wanted every day, and no longer had to worry about raising children. I took over Zhong Rumen's ex-husband's business. Although it didn't get too big, I can still earn 10,000 or 20,000 a month. I live such a good life here, why should I go home to support you and your mother? Before I left you, I had to earn everything in the family, and I still had my parents to support. Even if I got up early and stayed late, my family would. I can't even save a few $1,000s a year, and I'm really under too much pressure. You don't know, when I passed the river several times, I wanted to jump straight in. What does your hard life have to do with me? You are all like your mother, but not like me. Who knows if you are my children? Is this person speaking human language? Scumbag, he actually abandoned his wife and children just for his own enjoyment. But why did he tell the truth again? Just now I saw Chang Sheng and Chang Sheng host come in, I guess she did something again. Is longevity so powerful? Can you control people's hearts through the screen? I don't know, I'm not her. Everyone has gone off topic. What this scumbag did should be illegal, right? That's right, if he defrauds the country of money, he will go to jail. Zhong Rumen outside saw that Lu Taigi had told the truth and suddenly became desperate. It's over, she will definitely go to jail. Lu Fuhao said, what about your parents? They are always your biological parents. Why didn't you raise them instead of giving them to my mother? Lu Taigi snorted, I didn't ask her to raise her. If she doesn't want to raise her, can't she just run away with you? She is stupid. Lu Fuhao and Lu Fuja heard their father's shameless words and couldn't bear it anymore. They stepped forward and wanted to beat him. The boss of the steamed stuffed bun shop quickly stopped them, don't do anything. It's not worthwhile to send yourself to an orange for such a scumbag. I see you have broadcasted the live broadcast and saved the video. I will hand over the evidence later. Police, let him go to jail. Other onlookers also advised. Yeah, Don't do it. This kind of person is waiting for the law to deal with him. Wang Qingfen used to be very arrogant, and what he did before annoyed the whole community. He is really a bad person. Yes, it turns out that there shouldn't be such people in our community. I used to sing at home at 5 o'clock every day, and also at 12 o'clock in the evening. I also bought commercial speakers to play the songs, which made the whole community uneasy. It's better now. Our community will finally be clean in the future. That's right, that's right. Lu Fuhao and Lu Fujia woke up immediately. Lu Fuhao laughed at himself. Having a father like you is a lifelong shame for our brothers. Don't worry, since you don't recognize us, we will never recognize you again in the future. Lu Fujia also said, even if you are released from jail, don't try to find our family again. Don't worry, you will definitely go to jail for defrauding the country's property, but you will not be lonely. End of chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 204. Your brother's family and your parents are also in the bureau for beating my mother. I will ask my mother to divorce you. If you don't divorce, I will ask my mother to sue you for bigamy and make you. If you go to jail for a few more years, you won't be able to issue a letter of understanding to your parents, allowing them to stay with you for a longer period of time. Lu Taigi suddenly became desperate. I am your biological father, you can't do this to me. The owner of the bun shop said, didn't you just say that they don't look like you and are not your children? Lu Taigi choked, then thought again, after all, I have raised you for several years. You must not forget the kindness of raising me. Lu Fuhao said with a cold face, after you and my mother got married, you went out to make money, and then you came back every year during the Chinese New Year, and you couldn't see $1 every time. My brother and I earned the money from my mother's hard work at home. It has nothing to do with you. You have the nerve to say that you have raised us. The rest of the people also spoke sarcastically. Let me go, you are simply the scum of men. That's right, it is a man's responsibility to raise his wife and children. You are simply shameless. You scum and scum, no wonder your parents are willing to ask your wife to use money to buy a house for your brother's children. The upper beam is out of alignment and the lower beam is crooked. For people like you, only the bureau is your final destination. Go there and repent. That's right, you don't know how to cherish such a good wife and make her suffer for so many years. You can't atone for your sin even if you die. Soon, the police came. After briefly asking about the situation, they took Lu Taigi and Zhong Rumen away. On the other side, Qiaoning Sun and 3 other people arrived at a shopping square in the city. Qiaoning Sun smiled and said, cousin, I bought 3 movie tickets. Let's watch the movie first, then walk around each floor and buy some things. Grandpa's birthday is this week. But we are all at school, buying some gifts in advance to make him happy. Of course, in order to avoid Grandma being jealous, we must also choose a gift that suits her. The 2 of them suddenly realized that it was no wonder that my cousin was not doing live streaming to make money, nor was she looking for fungi. She postponed the treatment until the evening, just to give them gifts. He Yuan, who his mouth suddenly started to drool, cousin, I want to eat cake. Bai Qiaoning Sun was very happy and looked at He Yuan Yang, cousin, what do you want to eat? He Yuan Yang said, I want to eat cake too. Their family used to be poor. In their memories, they had eaten birthday cakes, but only a handful of times. They could only eat them when they were guests at other people's homes. They would definitely not be willing to buy it for their own family members' birthdays. A good birthday cake would be enough for their living expenses for a week. Qiaoning Sun suddenly suggested, how about I take you to the dessert buffet? Not only can you eat cakes, but there are also other desserts. You can eat as much as you want. You are still young, and you are not afraid of getting burned and hurting your body. He Yuan, who his eyes suddenly lit up, dessert buffet? It's the same as a buffet, you can eat whatever you want. That's right, Jiao Ningxun said with a smile. Do you want to go? If you want to go, go now, just inside Junhang Square. Go, I want to go. He Yuanyang said, we just had lunch not long ago, so we should buy gifts from grandparents before going. There is still something in the stomach, so it is not cost effective to eat right away. Jiao Ningxun thought it made sense. Okay, let's go buy gifts first. Now that the family's conditions are better, Jiao Shulan's daily income is quite high. Jiao Kongsheng and Ye Kaixiang also have pensions and money in their hands. So they thought that even if they bought it more expensively, Jiao Kongsheng and Ye Kaixiang would still be able to accept it. The clothes of Jiao Kongsheng and Ye Kaixiang were all bought by Jiao Shulan during this period, and they were not cheap. Gifts for Jiao Kongsheng are easy to buy. Men like nothing more than watches, belts and wallets. A famous brand happened to have a set, so they bought a set. They also agreed that the three of them would pay for each gift together. Jiao Ningxun would give it first, and the other two would give it to her after she returned. The gifts that women like are also very simple, nothing more than jewelry. So when passing by a jewelry store, the three of them went in to choose. He Yuanyang and He Yuanhui each had their own ideas about what they wanted to buy. He Yuanhui, I think jade is good. Old people like to wear red, so why not buy a red bracelet? Grandma has worked hard all her life and doesn't even have a decent piece of jewelry. He Yuanyang, jade is indeed good, but there is a saying in the book that in troubled times, jade in golden times, gold retains its value, is not easy to break, and is easy to repair if it is broken. If jade is broken and it is so expensive, it can only be repaired. Other gadgets, and they also cost money. Even if grandma is a landowner now, she can't help but do the farming and watering by herself. It's better to buy her a gold bracelet, which will not break easily. He Yuanhui, but brother, I heard recently that if you go out with gold, you can easily be robbed. Some people wear gold earrings, and their ears are ripped open, and one person's hand is almost chopped off. There are also people who wear gold earrings at night. I ran to a deserted place and my necklace was robbed. Grandma is old and carries gold, making her an easy target for bad guys. He Yuanyang nodded, indeed, gold is too valuable. It can be used as both jewelry and investment. How about this, buy gold as well as jade? Jiao Ningxun smiled and said, what you said makes sense. The salesperson next to her saw that they were young and thought they were joking. Since there were no customers now, she kept talking to them. Sales, you can take a look at this necklace. The chain is made of red ropes. Below it is a row of gold beads. There are 12 in total. The jade pendant in the middle is also red. In this way, there is also gold, jade, and red. There is 2. Because the necklace is just a rope, if you are in a place with few people, you can just put the necklace under your clothes even if some of the necklace is exposed. Others will only think that it is a red rope and they will not be distracted. In places where there are many people, such as family banquets and family gatherings, and other safe occasions, you can completely expose the entire necklace without losing face. Jiao Ningxun looked at the salesperson with approval. You are so smart, your performance must be very good, right? The salesman smiled and said, just average. Jiao Ningxun also smiled and took a look at the price of the necklace. 8,000 yuan is not expensive at all. He Yuanhui said, this necklace is good. He Yuanyan also said, it's really good. Jiao Ningxun, okay, just this necklace. End of chapter. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 205. The salesperson was delighted. I wonder if you want to buy anything else. I don't know where I came from. It's so refreshing to buy things. After Jiao Ningxun finished speaking, she looked at the other jewelry and said, it's just that the necklace is a bit too monotonous. Grandma has pierced ears, so these gold and pearl earrings are very good. I heard that silver can nourish a person and improve his health. The better the person is, the silver jewelry she wears will be brighter and brighter. It is also convenient for her to do her work, she is not conspicuous, and she will not be robbed. Just buy a pair of silver bracelets, which add up to almost 10,000 yuan. He Yuan Yang and He Yuan Hui nodded at the same time. I agree. If the price is similar to Grandpa's gift, they won't say we are partial. Okay, Chiao Ningxun asked the salesperson to wrap up all 3 items. It was just that Chiao Ningxun thought that Jiao Shulan was also a woman and had lived a miserable life in her previous life because she had to provide for her and her cousin. She had only had a few good days in her life, so she also chose a set of gold jewelry for her. If you wear it in Joe's fresh food store and it's monitored, there shouldn't be any problems. He Yuan Yang and He Yuan Hui also thought it was reasonable and agreed to buy it. Hence, the 3 of them left the jewelry store with smiles on their faces soon after. Chiao Ningxun put on a backpack and put all the things in the backpack, actually transferring all the things inside to the space. The 3 of them went to see a movie again, and the time was almost up, so they went to have a dessert buffet. He Yuan Yang and He Yuan Hui had their eyes open today. The dessert buffet actually has a variety of pastries, so they can eat whatever they want, which makes them feel very comfortable. Chiao Ningxun was afraid of gaining weight, so she ate 2/3 less than them, but she was still full. It is conceivable that He Yuan Yang and He Yuan Hui have huge appetites. 2 hours later, the 3 of them slowly left the dessert shop. Chiao Ningxun suddenly took out a bottle of medicine, poured out 3 pills, took 1 pill for himself, and gave 1 pill each to his cousin. He Yuan Yang, cousin, why did you give us medicine? He Yuan Hui, cousin, we are not sick. Chiao Ningxun said with a smile, most of the cakes you just ate were baked. In order to prevent your body from getting sick due to heat, such as acne, you take this medicine and it'll be fine. The 2 of them suddenly understood and took the pills without asking any more questions. It was getting late, and the 3 of them were ready to go home. Just after taking a few steps, I saw a lot of people gathered in front of a restaurant in front of me. Chiao Ningxun calculated with her fingers, and she understood clearly in her heart, so she quickly walked over there. He Yuan Yang and He Yuan Hui also quickly followed. As soon as I passed by, I heard the people inside talking. Suo Hongfeng, your company has really gone too far. I gave the goods to your company, but you didn't pay me. Do you want to force me to death? Chiao Ningxun and her cousin arrived. When I arrived, I saw a man wearing sunglasses opposite, and another middle-aged man in a gray suit confronting him with a knife. Suo Hongfeng glanced at the knife in his hand, without panicking at all, and said calmly, Zhang Defu, I have heard about your batch of goods. Did you give the goods to my company? You really said it? What kind of goods are you giving? They are all substandard, of poor quality, and the radiation is far beyond the standard. The contract clearly states that as long as your goods do not meet the standards, my company will not pay you. Do you think my company is taking advantage of me? I want you to cheat money by just taking a batch of goods. Zhang Defu's eyes flashed guiltily and he said loudly, there is nothing wrong with that batch of goods, you are just deliberately finding faults and trying not to give me money. A man next to him said, Zhang Defu, you underestimate Sox Group too much. Your batch of goods is only tens of millions, while companies large and small in Sox Group combined make more than tens of millions in a day. Will Sox Group value your tens of millions of goods? Zhang Defu's face turned red. He looked at the knife in his hand and said with stern eyes, I don't care, my goods are for you anyway. If I don't receive payment from your company, then my company will go bankrupt. Suo Hongfeng said, your company is now all related companies, and the things it produces are all inferior products. If it goes bankrupt, it will go bankrupt. It will teach you a lesson. Let's start a new company with integrity in the future. You, Zhang Defu became even more angry. You, the eldest son of the Suo family, look aloof and unconventional, but you really can stand and talk without pain. Okay, since your company is doing so well, then we will do the same. There's nothing left to say. If you don't make it easy for me, I won't make it easy for you either, so just die. After Zhang Defu finished speaking, he rushed over with a knife. Suo Hongfeng's two bodyguards immediately stepped forward to protect his boss. It's just that Zhang Defu also had some skills, and the two bodyguards were unable to subdue him for a while and could only mediate with him. But even so, Zhang Defu also moved with Suo Hongfeng's movement, and slowly got closer and closer to him. Suo Hongfeng had no choice. With his ability, it was very easy to run outside. But he was worried that if he lured people outside and if Zhang Defu was angry and hurt people indiscriminately, he would be guilty of a serious crime and could only hide in the restaurant. Other people in the restaurant also hurried to the door. Some timid people, and those who dare not watch the excitement, call the police and run for their lives. Soon, all the people in the restaurant were gone, leaving only some waiters. Those who were watching the excitement at the door were worried that Zhang Defu would kill people indiscriminately, so they also ran away. For a time, only Qiaoning Sun, He Yuan Yang, and He Yuan Hui were left at the door. Seeing that everyone else had run away, He Yuan Hui hurriedly said, "Cousin, let's run away too." He Yuan Yan also said, "Cousin, I know you are warm-hearted, but the man wearing sunglasses has many bodyguards, so he should be fine." Qiaoning Sun didn't want to take risks for other people, but Suo Hongfeng was the one who helped her in her previous life. Furthermore, Suo Hongfeng was also the brother who killed her and her mother's enemy in the previous life. Being close to him would make it easier for her to get close to her enemy Suo Xingsun in the future. Qiaoning Sun said seriously, cousin, you go to a safe place to hide, I will come as soon as I go." After saying that, she walked into the store. Of course He Yuan Yang and He Yuan Hui couldn't let her pass alone, so they could only follow behind her. The cashier of the store had been hiding under the counter. When he saw someone coming in, he kindly advised, "Don't go there. It's dangerous over there. Find a safe place to hide. I've already called the police. The police will be here soon." Qiaoning Sun smiled nonchalantly, "It's okay, I'll go over and help." At this moment, Zhang Defu had gotten rid of all his bodyguards and was about to catch up with Suo Hongfeng. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 206. Zhang Defu quickly came to Suo Hongfeng and said with a sinister look on his face, "If you don't let me live, I won't make it easy for you either." After saying that, he picked up the dagger and stabbed Suo Hongfeng in the heart. Suo Hongfeng smiled coldly. He had had enough fun and was about to fight back when he saw that Zhang Defu's hand holding the knife was motionless. Zhang Defu looked to the side and saw Qiaoning Sun pinching his wrist and saying calmly, "You are so brave that you dare to kill someone here." After saying that, she pinched Zhang Defu's wrist and threw it behind him. What was shocking was that Zhang Defu was violently thrown against the wall behind him. With a bang, his back hurt greatly and his eyes were filled with stars. Qiaoning Sun stood in front of Suo Hongfeng and looked at Zhang Defu coldly. Upon seeing this, He Yuan Yang and He Yuan Hui picked up the rope they had just found and stepped forward to tie up Zhang Defu, who was temporarily unable to move. Even if something happens to them today, they will not let anything happen to their cousin. Suo Hongfeng looked at the back of the woman in front of him and raised his eyebrows. This child seemed to have some abilities. Zhang Defu was in severe pain, so he could only let the two of them tie him up. When he regained his composure, he tried hard to break free from the rope, but it was of no use. But he could still stand up and said angrily, "You'd better let me go, or I'll kill you." He made a sound, "You are like this, and you still want our lives? Do you think we are scared?" Zhang Defu was furious and was thinking of a way to escape when the police rushed in. "Don't move, raise your hands." Zhang Defu saw a look of despair on his face when he saw that he was being pointed at by a gun. The bodyguards quickly came to their boss's side, with very apologetic expressions on their faces. "Master, I'm sorry, we underestimated the enemy. Please let me punish you, master." Qiao Ningxun twitched the corners of her lips. They were indeed from a wealthy family. This title almost made her think she had traveled through time. Suo Hongfeng straightened his clothes and said calmly, "It's okay. That man has practiced martial arts before and won awards. It's normal that you can't subdue him quickly." At this moment, the police came to inquire about the situation. Suo Hongfeng asked the bodyguard to explain, and he walked towards Qiao Ningxun. "Girl, thank you very much just now." Qiao Ningxun smiled and said, "You're welcome, I like to help people." Suo Hongfeng asked again, "Why are you so strong? Are you also a martial artist?" "No," Qiao Ningxun said without changing her expression. "Suddenly one day, I found that I was very strong." She was not lying. She had more physical and spiritual energy. Suddenly one day, her strength became stronger. "I see." Suo Hongfeng looked at the two people behind her again. "Are they your friends?" Qiao Ningxun shook his head. "No, it's my cousin. We came here specially to play during the holidays." Suo Hongfeng signaled to He Yuanyang and He Yuanhui respectively, turned around and said, "Girl, I don't know your surname." "My surname is Suo, and my full name is Suo Hongfeng." "Qiao Ningxun, my name is Qiao Ningxun, and they are He Yuanyang and He Yuanhui respectively." Suo Hongfeng nodded. "It's getting late now, why don't I treat you to dinner?" "Thank you very much for today." "Qiao Ningxun, there is no need to eat today. My cousin and I just came out of the self-service dessert shop, and our stomachs are still very full." Suo Hongfeng said, "Then why don't you give me your contact information, and I will thank you in the future." You. Qiao Ningxun's purpose today was to make friends with Suo Hongfeng, so he happily took out a business card he had customized yesterday and gave it to Suo Hongfeng. Suo Hongfeng glanced at it. "Okay, I'll accept it." As soon as he finished speaking, his cell phone rang suddenly. After hanging up the phone, Suo Hongfeng took out a check, wrote 1 million to each of them, and handed it to them respectively. "Thank you very much for today. This is a small amount of money for your kindness, so please accept it. I also, if you have anything to do, leave first." The three of them took the check and looked at it blankly. Before they could say anything, they had already left the store. The cashier who was hiding at the cashier just now came over to take a look and said in shock, 1 million. Such a huge amount of money. If I had known that, I would have rushed out just now to block it. 1 million is enough for the down payment of the house I am interested in, so regretful." Other clerks also came back one after another. When they heard that Qiao Ningxun's brother and sister had received 1 million, they gathered around them at the same time. Qiao Ningxun didn't want to be looked at as a monkey, so she quickly left Junhang Square with her cousin. Walking to a place with few people, He Yuanyang and He Yuanhui took out the check again and checked it. He Yuanyang said in disbelief, I saw it right? It's actually 1 million. Am I a millionaire?" He Yuanhui said, "Brother, you must have read correctly, mine is also 1 million, and I have become a millionaire." Qiao Ningxun made several million at a time last time, so she was relatively calm, but she was still very happy when the huge sum of money fell from the sky. Cousin, give me the check and I'll keep it for you until Monday when we have time to go to the bank during lunch. We can convert the money into a deposit and deposit it into your bank card." The two of them handed over the check without hesitation at all. My cousin has tens of millions of people and will not be greedy for their money. Even if my cousin wants it, that's okay, just give it to her. Chiao Ningsun put all the checks in the space and said with a smile, let's go home. The two nodded, okay. While waiting for the taxi, He Yuan Yang asked uneasily, Ningsun, my second aunt has taught us since childhood not to accept gifts and money from others at will. Is it okay that the three of us took 3 million from others like this? Not too good. He Yuan Hui felt nervous. Could it be that his eldest brother wanted to give the money back? Chiao Ningsun said solemnly, cousin, don't be too entangled. No matter what, we helped him and you kidnapped the prisoner. He should thank us. At the beginning, she did not expect Suo Hongfeng to give them money. She just wanted to get to know Suo Hongfeng so that she could have the opportunity to contact Suo Xingxin in the future. Otherwise, at the rate at which she is making money now, she doesn't know when she will be able to earn enough property to rival SOX groups. While she was practicing these days, she was also thinking about whether she should expand her organic vegetable business. The bigger the better. But she spends most of her time in school, and the people she trusts are also students, so she is really powerless. The reputation of fortune-telling has not yet been fully established, and in reality, no one wants her. He Yuan Yang and He Yuan Hui stopped worrying after thinking about the situation just now. Soon after Chiao Ningsun got into the taxi, she received Suo Hongfeng's friend application. After passing, she said hello and left it alone. Suo Hongfeng returned home and Suo Jingguo was sitting on the sofa watching the news. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 207. Seeing his son back, Suo Jingguo asked with concern, I heard that you encountered some trouble in Junhang. Suo Hongfeng took off his sunglasses and wig and looked at his father with a resentful look on his face. Isn't it because of you, father? I didn't do a better job when looking for a partner to cooperate with, but I actually found someone with such an extreme personality to cooperate with. Suo Jingui raised his eyebrows and said, you can't blame me. Zhang Defu was not like this back then. We have been cooperating for almost 10 years. His wife ran away and the 5 children left behind were not his biological children. His spirit after being stimulated, he started to cheat, and his personality became extreme, which is difficult to prevent. Speaking of it, there is a reason why this happened to you. If you had entered the SOX group to work, you would not have gone there today, and you would not have met Zhang Defu. You should be in the office or conference room now. That's right. Suo Hongfeng sat helplessly on the sofa. Dad, why are you talking about me again? My career has already improved. The TV series I starred in this year made me become a first-line actor. I don't want to do business, I just want to be an actor. Suo Jingguo snorted, as an actor, can you inherit the SOX group and make money? Suo Hongfeng said, I'm not short of money. Even if I don't join the SOX group, I still have shares in dozens of companies. The annual dividends are enough for me to live well. Suo Jingguo sighed and said, you young masters are living in blessings and don't know how to be blessed. Yan Jiaxi of the Yan family only wants to be a doctor. None of the other children in his family are interested in business. You too, be good if your heir doesn't do it, you actually want to be an actor. Your business ability is obviously better than mine. If you don't do business, it would be a pity. I will have no successor. Suo Hongfeng saw that his father suddenly seemed to have aged several years, and sighed, Dad, don't worry, you know that I am very strong. When I gain a firm foothold in the entertainment industry in the future, or I will be more interested in the entertainment industry I'm not interested anymore, I will go back. Even now, if the group is in trouble, if you want me to help, I will not ignore it. Suo Jing martial arts, then it's agreed. If I come to you for something in the future, you're not allowed to shirk it. Suo Hongfeng, Okay. At this moment, Suo Xingxin came back. Seeing her eldest brother return, she quickly stepped forward and gave him a hug. Suo Hongfeng disliked Suo Xingxin's current little sister's appearance the most, but considering that she was a younger sister, he gave her a light hug and quickly let go of her. Suo Jingguo solemnly said, "Suo Xingxin, stand in front of me properly." Suo Xingxin is used to it. In the past month or so, she has been scolded frequently and walked over impatiently. "Old man, if you have anything to say, just say it. I have something to do and I'm going out right away." Suo Jingguo said angrily, "Suo Xingxin, is this your attitude towards your father?" Suo Hongfeng also frowned and said, "Xingxin, why did you talk to dad?" Seeing that Suo Hongfeng had also taught her a lesson, Suo Xian looked aggrieved and said, "Brother, what's wrong with me? He's an old man. My friends all call their dad this way. They are them, you are you." Suo Hongfeng said sincerely, "My father and I told you many times not to play with them. You are the eldest lady of the Sox group. Their family background is not as good as yours, all because of your money. Just playing with you. Every time you go out, you spend money. You are only 16 years old now, and you spend more than 100,000 yuan on food every day. Can a normal high school student spend so much? See for yourself, what have you learned from them? You have no respect for your elders, and you have no respect at all for the father who raised you. And what happened last time, you actually beat up a passerby together, and just because he looked at you one more time, you sent him to the hospital. Those little friends of yours didn't have the money to pay compensation, so we settled the matter by paying all the medical expenses and compensation, and also arranging a job for him. I don't understand why you, the sole eldest lady of the Sox family, don't play with the children of our business partners, but hang out with those second-rates instead." Suo Xingxin said with a face full of arrogance, "Brother, you just look down on my friends who have no money at home. I just like to play with them and spend money for them. The children of your business partners are all very arrogant. One time I was not very good at playing the piano, although they didn't laugh at me in person, they kept talking about me behind my back and they haven't stopped till now. Another time, didn't I just misidentify the author of a famous painting? There was also a person who laughed out loud on the spot, which made me so embarrassed. I won't say much else. Anyway, there are countless such things from childhood to adulthood. I really hate to make excuses with them. On the contrary, it's my friends who comfort me when I'm sad and take me to eat delicious food and go have fun. They never laugh at me even if I make a mistake, they will just say that everyone makes mistakes and tell me not to take it seriously." Suo Jingguo became even more angry when he heard this. He stood up and said angrily, "You spoke so well of them. How many times did they pay for you to play? Let you eat? Out of the 20 times, one of them was themselves. Are you paying? They just want to comfort you and play with you because you have money. If you have no money, I guarantee that they will never talk to you again within a month." Suo Xingxin frowned and said, "Impossible, old man, don't talk nonsense." "Am I talking nonsense?" Suo Jingguo said coldly. "Okay, let's try it. From today on, I will give you 30 yuan of pocket money every day. Your valuables, including jewelry and brand name bags, etc., you are not allowed to take it out. Starting from tomorrow, you will live in the school and see if your friends will still treat you as a friend. The time limit is 6 months. If after half a year, they still treat you as a friend, I have nothing to say." Suo Xingxin said anxiously, "Dad, how can you cut off my pocket money? If I have no money, how will I study or go out in the future? I also promised my friends that I would treat them to a big dinner. You know how to call me dad now." Suo Jingguo said with a disappointed look on his face, "Xingxin, you know how I have treated you since you were a child. Everything I do is for your own good. This time I won't be soft-hearted. Anyway, you eat 3 meals a day at school. I will add enough money to your meal card to keep you from starving. For the time being, I will have all your private servers prepared for less than 200 yuan. If you find it too cheap, we have prepared dozens of sets of school uniforms for you, so you can wear them all from now on. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 208. What? Suo Xingxin said in shock, Dad, what is the difference between you and driving me out of the house? 30 yuan is not enough for me to eat a steak or drink a cup of good coffee. 200 yuan is not enough for me or clothes worth 1 yuan considered clothes. Will you get skin diseases if you wear them? After speaking, she looked at Suo Hongfeng again, Brother, please help me speak. I just want to have close friends. Please tell Dad not to treat me like this. I am his biological daughter. Suo Hongfeng said, it's for your own good, Dad. If those people still don't leave you after half a year, I promise you that I will help you persuade Dad. If you get tired of eating in the school cafeteria, Dad and I will take turns sending someone to pick you up. Eat delicious food, but only for yourself. Inviting your friends is out of the question. Suo Xingxin was so aggrieved that she burst into tears suddenly. Why are you doing this to me? I just want to make friends, woo woo, woo woo. That's enough. Suo Jingguo was extremely irritated after hearing this. The child who was not related to him just didn't understand him. I'm not dead yet, why are you crying? Your eldest brother was almost killed today, so I will. If you don't believe me, you haven't heard what I said. Not only do you not care about your elder brother, you are still here to mess around with these trivial matters. It is really heartless and unreasonable. Suo Xingxin, let me tell you, you are not actually. Dad, Suo Hongfeng quickly interrupted his father. Suo Jingguo was so angry that he turned away. Suo Xingxin was stunned. What does the old man want to say? What is she actually not? Is she not Dad's biological daughter? The Suo family has a big business and many relatives. Of course, those relatives dare not say anything in front of her, but she heard a lot of whispers. She has also heard that she is not the biological daughter of the Suo family. But she felt that those people were jealous of her, because they were jealous of her status as the only eldest daughter of the Suo family, and she had never taken it seriously before. Suo Hongfeng looked at Suo Xingxin, Dad is very angry now. You should go back to the house quickly. I will send someone to help you pack your things and send you to school. You can stay at the school first. Although Suo Xingxin was unwilling, she could only nod and go back to the house. Now she is still a minor, has not taken over the company, and does not even own the company's shares. If she and the old man insist on it, she will be the only one who suffers. She was just cautious, and as soon as she reached the corner, she returned to the living room, making people think that she had really returned to the room. Suo Hongfeng was about to speak when he saw the reflection in the glass not far away. He hesitated for a moment and then said, Dad, why did you almost tell Xingxin's life experience just now? Since she wants to know so much, then let's know. Her character, if he knew about it, she would be honest. If she did something else out of line, he wouldn't mind driving her out of the Suo family. Suo Jingguo said angrily, she is so lawless just because she is my only daughter and because you don't want to take care of the family business and only wants to be an actress. She thinks I might choose her as my heir in the future. I just want to tell her that she is not my biological daughter, she is just an orphan I adopted from the orphanage. Suo Xingxin's face turned pale and her body started to tremble. Is she really not a child of the Suo family? She is so arrogant that even her father doesn't notice her. Part of the reason is that she knows that her eldest brother doesn't want to do business, and the old man can only choose her to inherit the company in the future. If she were not a child of the Suo family, wouldn't everything she has now be lost at any time? Judging from the angry look on the old man's face just now, and judging from his previous cold-blooded attitude towards people, he can definitely do that kind of thing. Suo Hongfeng said, "Dad, Xingxin is still young. She is only 16 years old this year. When she grows up, she will understand. Dad, give her one last chance. No matter what, this sister came to this house because of him, and he was willing to tolerate her a few more times." Suo Jingguo thought about it for a while and nodded, "Okay, since she is still a minor, I will tolerate her for another 2 years. If she still does this after she turns 18, I will really drive her away, leave the house and let her die on her own." I brought her back from the orphanage and made her the high-ranking eldest daughter of the Suo family. She has been well-dressed and well-fed since she was a child, and she is worthy of her. Suo Xingxin clenched her fists involuntarily. "Since you can't stand her now, why did you adopt her in the first place? Having adopted her, why can't she live as she pleases? Since you have adopted her, you should treat her well. No matter what happens to her, even if she commits murder and arson, you should treat her as your own child and tolerate her." Suo Hongfeng smiled and said, "Dad, don't worry, Xingxin is still a kind-hearted child at heart. After these 6 months, she should know that we are the ones who think about her." Suo Jingguo nodded, "I hope so." Suo Hongfeng asked, "Dad, how are you doing with the child who is related to you by blood?" Suo Xingxin was startled. "The old man has a child?" Suo Jingguo shook his head. "When I went to see Mr. Chu, he said that the child now has her own legal parents. Even if I find her, she probably won't come back with me. It's not good for me to disturb her. After I came back, I thought he was right, so I temporarily withdrew some of my staff." Suo Hongfeng said, "Dad, even though I say this, that child is also a person related to me by blood. I don't know what her current family conditions are like. It doesn't matter if she is living a good life. If she is not living a good life, isn't it? Should we just ignore it? This can't really be ignored. Also, Dad, the child who is related to me by blood must know where she is. What if her descendants meet my descendants in the future and have feelings for her? What if they give birth to a child? This is a close relative's marriage. Harm." Suo Jingguo's face suddenly became serious and he said seriously, "You are right, we must find her. I will send more people to investigate." Suo Hongfeng was relieved. Looking at the place where Suo Xingxin was standing, he didn't say anything and went to do his own thing. Suo Xingxin didn't know how to get back to her room. The reason why the old man treats him so badly is because she is not his biological daughter. In this family, after all, only her brother is good to her. But my brother just approved of the old man looking for his child. If that child comes back, will she still be able to live the good life she has now? Will that child take away everything she has now? Will she be sent back to the orphanage again? She has also heard about the days in the orphanage. If the dean is good, the children can live a good life. If the dean is a bad person with a human face and an animal heart, then her life will be over. Compared to her current life, those days were hell. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible. Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 209. The previous chapter was revised repeatedly, and the plot was added at the end. She despaired at the thought that she would have to live like an ordinary person from now on. Did she really do something wrong before? Should she do something to please the old man so that she would not be kicked out of the house in the future? No, she must find the child before the old man does. After thinking for a long time, she made a call. "Xingxin, you actually called me. Don't talk nonsense, don't you like me? Do one thing for me, and I can consider dating you in the future." What's the matter? Just ask, I will definitely help you. Here's the thing, that's it, can you find the child? Don't worry, I will try my best to find it. Good. On the other side, Jiaoning Sun and her cousin returned to Deguo village and gave gifts to their two elders. Jiao Kongsheng looked at the gift and said with joy, "It's so embarrassing for you three, you actually thought of giving me a gift in advance." Jiao Sun smiled and said, "Grandpa, do you like it?" Like it very much. As long as you like it." Jiao Sun saw her grandmother next to her looking at her grandfather's gift with eager eyes. She took out another box and placed it in front of her. "Grandma, you also have a gift. Take a look, do you like it?" "I have one too." Ye Kaixiang opened the gift box with a look of surprise. When she saw the jewelry inside, she said excitedly, "It's so beautiful." Jiao Sun said, "Grandma, this is also the idea of the three of us." Ye Kaixiang smiled and said, "Good boy, Grandma, thank you." Jiao Kongsheng also said, "Grandpa, thank you too." Jiao Sun took out another gift and placed it in front of Jiao Shulan. Jiao Shulan was stunned, "Do I have one too?" Jiao Sun nodded, "Of course, we are all elders, we must have them. We have money, so we don't need this little money." Jiao Shulan was very happy. After opening it, she tried every kind of jewelry. "Thank you three, I like them all. My love for you is not in vain. He Yuan Yang, as long as my second aunt is happy. He Yuan Y, second aunt is just like our mother. It is also appropriate for a son to give his mother a gift." Jiao Shulan suddenly laughed from ear to ear. It was too late today. Many people had something to do at night or wanted to rest, so few people came to see Jiao Sun for treatment. Of course, it is also a good thing if no one treats the disease. At night, Jiao Sun continued to practice in Gasugu. At 4 o'clock, she opened her eyes, opened the formula book, and unlocked the 11th immortal formula to retrieve objects from the air. As the name suggests, as long as she chants the formula, she can hold the thing in her hand without touching it. And there is no limit to the distance. No matter how far it is, as long as she has a specific image in her mind, she can get it. After getting it, she can put it back anywhere she wants without anyone noticing. But now is a society governed by the rule of law, and it doesn't matter whether you take something for yourself or steal it. If in ancient times, in primitive society, many things were ownerless, and she had the ability to see through, she could find some gold and gem mines to mine, and she could become the richest man in the world. Jiao Sun quickly recited the formula and saw a bird's nest on a tree not far away. She recited the formula and stretched out her hand at the same time. Sure enough, in just a moment, an egg from the bird's nest appeared in her hand. Yes, with this ability, even if she forgets something in Deguo village, even if she lives near the school, or is sitting in the school classroom, she can hold it in her hands. Jiao Sun put the egg back and glanced at Xiao Iche, who was eating roast chicken. "Xiao Ha, I want to verify one of my newly unlocked abilities. You are here and I will test it at home, okay?" Xiao Ha nodded, "Woof. Of course, new owner. I wish you could take me flying again sometime. The feeling of flying is really great." Jiao Sun seemed to understand Xiao Ha's words and said with a smile, "Okay, next time I will take you to fly and then take you to my house in the city to see. I will also make my house specially for you. I'm waiting for you to live in the kennel." Woof. It's agreed, it's a puppy to lie to people. Jiao Sun patted Xiao Ha's head and quickly returned to Lao Jiao's house. She returned to her room and suddenly recited the chant. Sure enough, in just a moment, Xiao Ha appeared beside her bed. Xiao Ha looked around and saw that he had really returned home in an instant. He jumped up and down beside Jiao Sun excitedly. "Woof, woof, woof. New master, you are really awesome, much better than my old master." Chiao Ningxun smiled and said, "Okay, don't wake everyone up. I will take you to the city when I have the chance." Xiao Ha nodded. "Then I will remember it." The next day, Chiao Ningxun prepared all the fungi and waited for Jungsuan to come and pick up the goods. Today she still prepared 500,000 worth of fungi. "I just didn't expect that it was Du Kunpeng who came today." Chiao Ningxun asked, "Uncle Du, are you fully recovered?" Du Kunpeng smiled and said, "Thanks to you, my health is completely fine." As he spoke, he waved his hand, and the person he brought got out of the car with more than 10 gift boxes. Chiao Ningxun said helplessly, "Uncle Du, you have already paid the medical expenses. You really don't have to be polite. Just take these gifts back." Du Kunpeng said sincerely, "Take it? If it weren't for you, I don't know how long I would have been kept secret. In addition, I came here today because there is one more thing I want to ask you. If you don't accept it, I will be embarrassed to ask you." Chiao Ningxun had no choice but to accept it and asked him to come in and sit down. Ye Kaixiang enthusiastically poured a cup of tea over. Knowing that they had something to say, she consciously went to do other things. Chiao Ningxun asked, "Uncle Du, if you have anything to do, just tell me." Du Kunpeng thought for a while and said, "Ningxun, that's it. I have become interested in stone gambling during this period." Stone gambling, in short, means buying raw jade stones. If you are lucky and find jadeite with good quality, even if the bet is a win. If the result is bad, the bet is a loser. I want to go to the jade market in the afternoon. Can you help me calculate whether I will make a loss or make a profit today? If so, I will go. If it's a loss, then I won't go. Betting on stones. Chiao Ningxun's eyes suddenly lit up. Why didn't she think of gambling on stones? She has the ability to see things through the air, and she also unlocked teleportation last night. She can take the jadeite out of the stone completely, minimizing the loss and making a sure profit. Although she doesn't know much about gambling stones, she also knows that if she can solve the Imperial Green, it will be the most valuable jadeite. Using her clairvoyance ability, she can easily accumulate a lot of wealth. After thinking clearly, Chiao Ningxun suppressed his excitement, calculated with his fingers, and said with a pity on his face, "Uncle Du, it's not suitable for you to go today. If you go by yourself, you will lose all your budget. Back before I became a vegetative state, I became an immortal and invincible." Author, Qing Jue Chen Chen. Chapter 210. Du Kunpeng was immediately frightened and said, Fortunately, I asked you, so I won't go today." Chiao Ningxun coughed lightly, "I mean if you go by yourself, you will lose money, but if you go with me, you won't lose money, and you can even make a lot of money." What she said was true. Du Kunpeng seemed to be losing money today. Even if he lost the money, it would have no impact on his life. After all, he only has his own daughter to raise now, and there is no vampire wife to his blood. But after all, it is his hard-earned money, and he will still feel heartache. Du Kunpeng was overjoyed and said hopefully, "Ningxun, you want to go in person? Do you have time to go there?" "Yes," Chiao Ningxun said, "my cousin and cousin are also at home. They study every day and their brains are going crazy from reading. I want to take them with me. If you want to make a fortune, of course you have to make it together." Du Kunpeng suddenly hesitated again. "Will your family agree?" Chiao Ningxun promised, "Don't worry, they will definitely agree. Let's do this. We have to go to evening self-study. Let's set off now. We can just go back to school before class." "Okay, I'll listen to you." Chiao Ningxun immediately went to inform the adults at home, and of course they agreed. Du Kunpeng is a Junhua person. If he really hurts his granddaughter and grandson, he can just go directly to Junhua and ask for an explanation. He Yuan Yang and He Yuan Hui heard that they could go see jade and wanted to learn more about it, so they agreed to go together. On the way, they also roughly searched for jade-related knowledge on the internet to avoid making a joke. For example, jade is generally divided into 4 grades. The most expensive type is glass, with prices starting at 10,000 yuan. The second is the ice type, which is second only to the glass type, and the price is also around 10,000 yuan. Once again, it is the glutinous jade, which is the most common jadeite on the market and can usually be purchased for less than 10,000 yuan. The worst thing is bean seeds, which can usually be bought for only a few hundred yuan. But the price of jadeite is not only related to the above 4 types of water, but also related to color, clarity and flaws. Also, there are 3 methods to extract jadeite: rubbing, cutting and grinding. Stone rubbing is effective and safe. It can be used to find out in advance whether there is jade in a certain part of a rough stone. Because the part is not found correctly, blindly cutting the jade will break away the jade. In this way, even if the rough stone looks good on the surface, it is easy to lose the bet. Jade that can't do anything is of course useless. Stone cutting, as the name suggests, is to slowly cut the stone with a tool. When the jade cannot be seen with the first cut, you can make the second cut and the third cut. As the saying goes, one sword makes you poor, and the other makes you rich. It means that with one stroke, one can either become rich overnight or go bankrupt. The purpose of grinding stones is to polish and fully display the transparency, so that people can clearly see the grade of jadeite. 2 hours later, a group of 4 people entered the rough stone market. On the way here, they went to have something to eat first. Qiao Ningxun and her cousins are still students after all. In order not to cause unnecessary trouble, they all wear masks. There are many people wearing masks here, and although Qiao Ningxun, He Yuan Yang, and He Yuan Hui are still students, if they don't look at their faces and only look at their height, it is easy for people to think that they are adults. As soon as he entered, Du Kunpeng quickly walked towards a group of people standing in the distance and said respectfully to the leader, "Boss, you are here too." Chu Yanyi looked at Qiao Ningxun behind him and nodded, "Well, let me just take a look." During the previous summer vacation, Chu Yanyi also went to Lao Qiao's house. He Yuan Yang and He Yuan Hui also met him and learned his identity from Qiao Ningxun. He Yuan Yang said, "Hello, Mr. Chu." He Yuan Hui said, "Hello, Mr. Chu." Chu Yanyi nodded, "Hello." Du Kunpeng said seriously, "Then I won't bother the boss. I'm just making a small fuss and want to make some money. The boss must be here for the jewelry company under his name." Looking at the people he brought behind him, we knew that he would definitely buy a lot of jade this time. Chu Yanyi said, "Let's go together first. I will separate from you when it's time to separate later." Du Kunpeng looked at Qiao Ningxun. Qiao Ningxun smiled and said, "Then let's go together, we all know each other anyway." Du Kunpeng nodded, "Okay." Qiao Ningxun was also familiar with Chu Yanyi. As he walked, he asked casually, "Chu Yanyi, do you have to be invited to come in here? I just saw Uncle Du wake up after his face was brushed." Chu Yanyi nodded, "It is true. High-priced jade is often sold here. It is the best rough stone market in Nanjing. In order to prevent too many people from coming in and causing confusion, generally speaking, only those invited by the owner here are allowed. They can come in and they can bring their friends." Qiao Ningxun, "That's it?" She was still planning to come over when she had time, but it seemed that this was not an option. Chu Yanyi seemed to see what Qiao Ningxun was thinking, and suggested, "If you want to come over in the future, just contact me, and I will bring you over. Just think of it as a thank you gift for curing my 2 old men." Qiao Ningxun would not say that he had already thanked her. 2 lives cannot be paid back with money. He nodded readily, "Okay, then we have made an agreement. Don't regret it then." "No, don't worry." Du Kunpeng opened his mouth, but after all he didn't say that he could come here if he applied online in advance. The boss must have his own reasons for saying this. If he ruins the boss's affairs, he will go home and drink the northwest wind. Soon, they came to the market. At first glance, they saw that there were stalls of rough stones. There are also many people who want to make a fortune. Basically, there are at least 10 people standing in front of every stall. There are several stone extraction stalls inside, and many people are surrounding the master to solve the stone. Xiaoningsun and her cousins were very curious. They looked here and there. Chu Yanyi saw that they started to read from the first row, and he and others planned to start from the last row, so that they would not all be interested in the same thing, and then they would have to give in to each other and waste time. When his boss left, Du Kunpeng felt a little more relaxed and said with embarrassment, "Ningxun." Xiao Ningxun smiled and said, "Uncle Du, look, I will give my opinion, but in order to prevent you from being blacklisted, look, should we take it back and untie it, or should we untie it here?" Du Kunpeng hesitated for a moment. "Unlock one, take the others back, go to the jewelry processing factory in Zhengsuan to unlock them, and just sell them directly to the factory." Good. Du Kunpeng hurriedly started looking at the first stall. In order not to make people think she was too weird, Xiao Ningxun looked at the stall several times first.